Good morning, Springfield. Welcome to Chief Chat. I'm Jacob King. I am the fire chief here of the Fire Rescue Division.
Good morning, Allison Elliott with Springfield Police Division.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this December 2025. It's a great opportunity for us to kind of hit some key highlights before we go into the final stretch of these wonderful holidays. Christmas is in full swing here in city. I would have to say that the tree lighting ceremony downtown with the fireworks, the drone show, so many of the business and events that occurred during that was just spectacular.
Yeah, Holiday City was awesome. Holiday in the City was awesome. What a wonderful evening. And the cold weather definitely didn't stop people from coming down and enjoying the night.
No, I had several people that asked questions about where to go, what to see, that were not from Springfield, that they had heard about how wonderful this event is, and they rolled in there. So I guess if you haven't been, you should definitely put it on your calendar for next year.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of the holidays, we start to see a lot of issues arise with kind of the mental health side of things, right? There's a lot of people that are really having problems during this time.
Mhm.
I know that we see an increase in that calls. Just for I think people being alone,
Right.
families, but and there's the other side of that is the stress, right? People are working hard these days.
Mhm.
Everything seems to cost more, and trying to provide for the holidays and the gifts. A lot of stress is hitting the community.
Mhm.
Um, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough. Like you said, the holidays, the stress of everything, kind of the end of the year wrap up, and just challenges that we're facing as a community, as a country, just in general. And then there is definitely something to it when we talk about the wintertime, colder weather, lack of sunlight, getting opportunities to be outside, and that's challenging, and being isolated, like you said, feeling isolated, being at home. So that can be challenging. I know there are a lot of great resources here in our community, with our local mental health partners, with mental health services of Springfield, Clark County, Madison County, Greene County, Mental Health and Recovery Board, and all of the other partnerships that we have with some agencies. And I know that you do, just in talking about our mobile crisis response
Yes.
team and working through that process. There are so many resources out there, and we'll definitely make sure that we can try to help provide that information, in partnership with all of these other agencies, because it can be tough, and sometimes you can feel isolated. But look out for each other. Check on each other. Make those phone calls, and take that time just to do a quick check in with a friend or family member that who may be going through some challenging times.
Or even your neighbor, right?
Right.
Looking at during this time we usually get some snow or ice. If they're have physical limitations, don't hesitate to throw in a hand, clear their sidewalk, or clear their steps so they don't slip and fall. There's a lot of things I think that we can do to support each other and help during this time. Um, and just remember, no matter how bad it seems or feels, like you have value, and somebody will be upset no matter what you think, without having you here. So please utilize the resources, crisis hotlines. Um, Call us.
Mhm.
We will come out and meet with you. We'll get you appropriate care, at least somebody you can talk to,
Right.
and keep you here because that's what's important. I think not only with you and your family members, your friends, that it doesn't have to stop.
Right.
Right? And so, we just want to bring that awareness, I think, as we go into this very difficult time for a lot of people, and just say, we value you and we don't want anything to happen.
Right. Your
Yeah,
life matters,
it
right?
does.
And
It
and
does.
there's so many people who do care and have resources to help out. And public safety is always an opportunity, like you said. If you don't know who else to call us. We'll get you to the right resource, and we'll get you the assistance that you need.
Right. And so, uh, and sometimes these problems come from people that may feel despair because they got scammed, right?
Sure.
Holiday scams can be pretty significant during this time. Um, what what should people be on the lookout for?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of questions that we'll get from folks or people calling in, especially now with smartphones and smartphone technology, especially with text messaging. A lot of times, and you'll see the graphic that we have here, one of our fraud pamphlets that Detective Shane Davis, who is part of our fraud investigation unit and does an incredible job. He has a wonderful presentation that he shares with people all over the community. He's really great in keeping the community informed. But you'll see some of the information up here. The Attorney General's office website, the Ohio Attorney General's office, they have a lot of updated information about scams and fraud and what to look out for, and some of the most recent things that are being seen, kind of not, all over Ohio essentially. But text messaging, if somebody's reaching out, uh, stating they're the IRS or maybe stating that you owe any sort of money, always question that. I know it's tough sometimes because there's a lot of billing companies now who do use automated text to send you your bill information. But always look a little bit further into that. If somebody's asking you for your personal information via text message or phone call, make sure you're not releasing that information, whether it be your name, date of birth, social security number, some of those personal
Oh yeah,
identifiers, your address, things like that. We also get calls about people sharing that somebody's demanding them sending a check to them or a payment up front or paying with gift cards, things like that. We definitely want to question. We want to make sure we take a look at.
and definitely. And if you didn't order anything and you get those text messages like "click here to track your package" or "there's a problem with your package,"
Right.
um, uh, those typically are scams. And clicking on the link
Mhm.
somewhat gives them access to some of your privacy data from your
Right.
device. That's what I've heard? Is that correct?
Yes, yeah,
So
and some of the things that we've seen, that have been consistent over time is somebody will send a check in the mail and ask you to cash it and then send a certain amount back. Definitely make sure that you're paying attention to that, and especially for folks, like our parents and grandparents, maybe who may have questions about that. Sometimes there are folks who are a vulnerable population that people are looking to take advantage of.
yeah. So the old adage still stays true today. If it
Yeah,
seems unbelievable,
it's too good to be
it's
true.
too good to be true, then you're probably right.
Right. Yeah. And another thing too, um, people call us. There was a scam going around for a while, stating that you had warrants for your arrest, and you were getting text messages or phone calls or a message. If you have questions or if you believe you've been involved in something that could, warrant or an arrest warrant or a charge, you can always call down to our police division at 324-7685 or the non-emergency dispatch number if you do think you have a warrant, to see if you can look into that. And the local websites, the Clark County Municipal Court website also can give you that information. If you and it's a public database that you can look up to access that information.
Yeah. So will Springfield Police Division ever send you a text or call you to say if you pay us this much money right now, we'll get rid of the warrant? Would you ever call anybody about that?
Absolutely not. That does not happen. That cannot happen. And so if you get something like that, please call us, question it. You can always talk to one of our information officers or dispatch, and just we'll get you in the right direction on who to follow up with.
And should anybody report these? Like if they're getting a phone call scam
Mhm.
that they believe is a scam, could they report that to anyone?
Yeah, and I will say the Attorney General's website has a lot of good information, and it is on that pamphlet that you see there, on contact information. And there is a way to report fraud or scams. If you can also call our division, there will be some additional questions and follow up that we will have. Typically once you've sent money or if you have had those transactions, that kind of escalates that a little further. So again, just avoiding all of that in advance. Don't send any money through, wiring any money through, online transactions, things like that.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for that great information. Hopefully, we'll be able to protect some of our citizens against some of these scams. I think next, the area we can protect in is, holiday safety tips, right? And so the first one we really want to get after is if you have a live Christmas tree.
Okay.
Live Christmas trees are significantly a major hazard if you don't keep them watered,
Yeah.
right? So we're required to keep them watered. On our graphic, we got some quick safety tips about where to place the tree, utilize what type of lights on the tree, and some good key facts. But what we've been able to see is just in a matter of 20 seconds, your entire tree could be fully in flames
Wow.
and almost unable to escape a house based on how fast these dry Christmas trees can go up. So just make sure that you're keeping it watered,
Mhm.
that you have good electrical lights around them. No frays or tears like, oh well, one more year this strand of lights will be good. I would rather you not put lights on it if that's the case. But just be cognizant of that and how many strands of lights are plugged into each other. Each section of lighting tells you how many strands of cords you can plug in to each other, as well as the number of outlets you're going to use. If you need multiple outlets, um, you know, try not to put like a multi plug in your one outlet that you can plug six things in, because then that starts to drain on your electrical system, which does cause a lot of fires.
Okay.
We are in the prime months for structure fires to
Mhm.
happen. And November, December, January, February, and sometime, and March, right, is the ending month, kind of the cold snap, as we're trying to utilize different heating sources and plugging multiple things in. So about 45,000 homes have are on fire from started from electrical fires each year. So that's pretty significant. Half of all home electrical fires start with some type of lighting equipment, or you did your own home electrical wiring and maybe you didn't tighten it down enough,
Mhm.
or it was wired wrong. So we really want you to use certified electricians if you're going to add any electrical wiring, making sure that you're only plugging in one major uh, electrical item into the outlet.
Mhm.
Um, they're only rated for so much draw. So when you start plugging multiple things in that have a large draw, it heats up the wiring, that could then create that fire. Um, and space heaters, right now it's
Yeah.
getting into the cold, right? Uh, so space heaters need space. They need about 36 inches away from anything.
Mhm.
But also, as we've talked in the past, right, make sure that it has tip over protection. So what if it falls over, it shuts off? It's pretty easy to test that, right? You can plug it in and just tilt it over, and then you should hear it shut off.
Yes.
Just to make sure it's not sitting there heating one spot for a long period of time.
Huge knowing that, again, I think we talked about it, having pets, having kids, younger kids, smaller children, those can get tipped over easily.
Very.
Yeah.
How easy is it to just trip over stuff on your floor that you know is there,
Sure.
but you're in a hurry and then click, you bump it and you don't even realize that it tipped over. So,
Just like cats in a Christmas tree sometime.
yes, yes, or squirrels, right,
Yeah,
from
yeah, right.
Christmas Vacation.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Those are quick, easy tips, right? Keep the tree watered. Don't plug in too many things in your outlet. And in the event that we get a significant snowfall,
Mhm.
one of the things we ask that'll help us help you is if you are able to clear your fire hydrants, right? So if we have a lot of
Okay.
snow out there, if you could look outside and see the fire hydrant in front of your home or your neighbor's home and see that it's buried, that just clean off around 3 feet, so that we have really good access, so that we can hook up quickly,
It's a great point.
efficiently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that big wrap up, right? So we talked about there's a lot of resources for that holiday season with depression, mental health stress, stress from finances, and scammers.
Mhm.
We talked about your Christmas tree, right? Making sure if it's a live tree to keep that watered. Electrical safety, clearing your fire hydrants. Is there any parting comments? Right? Quick hits. Anything we missed? What do you
No,
think?
I think just again, our community has been through a lot and continues to experience some challenges. So the big thing is just come together, look out for one another, right? And that's been the big message, the big theme. I know the city of Springfield's messaging is forward together, and we have to come together as a community and look out for one another. Everybody's going through challenges, and you don't always know what people are facing or what situation they're going through. So give people grace and
Yeah,
understanding, especially through these cold months and the holiday seasons, and take a look out for each other.
yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for those great things. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next year on the 2026 Chit Chat.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and have a wonderful time with your family.